Okay, let's dive right in. We're going to talk about something nobody really wants to think about, but everyone absolutely needs to plan for. In this explainer, we're covering the 7 essential documents that can protect you, your family, and everything you've worked for from complete and utter chaos. And just so we're clear, this isn't just for the rich or the elderly, this is for everybody.
I want you to really, truly think about this for a second. A car accident, a sudden illness, a stroke. One minute, you're in total control of your life, and the next, you're not. So who pays the mortgage? Who talks to your doctors? Who can even get into your bank account? If you don't have a plan in place, the answer is frankly a complicated nightmare. So what does that nightmare look like? Without a plan, your family can be forced into court for what's called an emergency guardianship. And this number you see here, $15,000 or even more, that's the potential starting cost. We're talking lawyer fees, court fees, just to get the ball rolling. And guess where that money comes from? It comes right out of your pocket, out of your assets.
And it's not just the cost, right? It's the time. When it comes to settling your final estate, the process is called probate. And without the right paperwork, your assets could be completely frozen, tied up in court for a minimum of 6 to 18 months. Just think about that. Your family is left waiting, stressed out, and unable to move on for over a year. But what about the immediate crisis? The moment something happens? How much access does your family, and I mean even your spouse, have to your own individual bank accounts to pay the bills? Without the right legal document, the answer is zero. A big, fat zero. The accounts get frozen, the mortgage doesn't get paid, everything just grinds to a screeching halt. And here is the hard truth that ties all of this together. Once you lose the mental capacity to understand what you're signing, you can no longer legally sign anything. Not a power of attorney, not a will, not a single thing. That window of opportunity to protect your family just slams shut. By the time it's a full-blown emergency, the easy solution is already off the table. Now, this slide right here really lays out the 2 different paths you can take. Just look at this. On the left side, without the documents, you're looking at emergency court hearings, a long probate process, and potential family fights. We're talking thousands of dollars and months, if not years of delays. Now look at the right side. With the documents, your chosen person steps in immediately, assets can transfer in just a few weeks, and your wishes are followed. It's a clear choice between crisis and control. So let's get into the solutions. Let's talk about how you get on the right side of that chart. We'll break it down into 2 main parts. First up, we're going to cover the documents that protect you while you're still alive, but can't make decisions for yourself. This is all about protecting you. All right, document number 1. And honestly, this might be the most critical piece of paper in an immediate crisis. It's the durable power of attorney for finances. This is the legal tool that gives a person you trust, your agent, as they're legally called, the power to step into your shoes and manage your financial life. They can access your bank accounts, pay your bills, and handle your finances without a single hiccup. And this quote just brilliantly drives the point home. This is not an exaggeration. Because of privacy laws and banking regulations, if an account is only in your name, your spouse legally cannot touch it without this document. This simple piece of paper is literally the key that unlocks everything and prevents a financial disaster during a medical emergency. So, to put it simply, this one document single-handedly solves most of the problems we just talked about. It helps you avoid that super expensive court guardianship, it gives your family immediate access to funds, it makes sure the lights stay on, and it allows your trusted person to manage your finances exactly as you would. It's your power, just delegate it. Okay, let's switch gears to your health. These next 2 documents work together as a team. The healthcare power of attorney is all about the who. Who is the person you trust to talk to your doctors and make those tough calls? The living will, on the other hand, is about the what. What are your specific wishes when it comes to end-of-life care? You really need both. One appoints the person, and the other gives them your playbook. Okay, so we've covered how to protect yourself while you're alive. Now, let's move on to part 2. The documents that secure your legacy and protect your family after you're gone. Next up is the one everybody knows, the last will and testament. Its main jobs are pretty simple. Say who gets your stuff, name an executor to handle the process, and for all the parents out there, listen up. This is where you legally name guardians for your minor children. If you have kids, this part is absolutely non-negotiable. But here is the single biggest misconception about wills. A will is basically a set of instructions for the probate court. It doesn't avoid it. Let me say that again. A will does not avoid probate. All the assets you list in your will still have to go through that 6 to 18-month court process we mentioned earlier. So, if a will doesn't avoid probate, what does? Well, that's where a revocable living trust comes in. Just look at this comparison. A trust completely bypasses probate court. That means your assets can be distributed in weeks, not months or years. It's also completely private, unlike a will, which becomes a public record. And a trust can also protect you during incapacity. For a lot of people, it's a much more powerful and flexible tool.
Now, for homeowners in Florida and a handful of other states, there is an incredible tool that works like a magic trick for your house. It's called a ladybird deed, sometimes called an enhanced life estate deed. And it's a really powerful way to pass on your home and completely avoid probate.
This table shows you exactly why it's so powerful. Look, if you use a will for your house, it's going to probate. If you try to give it to your kids now with a quitclaim deed, you lose control and can create a bunch of tax and Medicaid problems. But look at that bottom row for the ladybird deed. No probate, no loss of control, no Medicaid issues. It's the only option here that avoids all the big pitfalls. It's a clean sweep. And finally, let's touch on the seventh key area, your beneficiary designations. Life insurance is designed to be fast money for your family, but a critical mistake people make all the time is not checking who their beneficiary is. That money bypasses your will entirely and goes straight to the person named on the policy. If that's an ex-spouse or someone who's already passed away, you've just created a huge legal mess. So make it a habit to review those beneficiaries every year.
Okay, whew, that was a lot of information, I get it. But knowing this stuff is only half the battle. Now you need a clear plan to actually get it done. So what are the steps you need to take?
It's really just a 5-step process. First, prioritize. Figure out what's most important for your stage in life. If you have young kids, the will and guardianship is number 1. Second, choose your method. Are you going to work with an attorney or use an online service? Third, gather your info, names, addresses, and a basic list of your assets. Step 4, and this is critical, you have to sign the documents correctly with the right witnesses and a notary. And finally, step 5, store the originals somewhere safe and make sure you give copies to the people you've appointed so they actually know what their job is. So we end with this question. At the end of the day, all of these documents are about one thing: control. They take the power out of the hands of judges and strangers and keep it with you and the people you trust. It really is the difference between a legacy that's left up to chance and a legacy guided by your choices. And the time to make that choice is right now.